Hey guys, today we are going to be doing a Los Angeles Rams rebuild. Um, no gameplay today, but we will be using the Rams and just going until we win a Super Bowl with this team. Obviously, they just won a Super Bowl 2 years ago now, and they kind of sold their whole team to get it. And since then, because of injuries and also because of selling the team just to make that, just to get to there, they've struggled quite a bit. Stafford wasn't having a great year last year. He went down. Kupp was playing like Cooper Kupp last year, and then he went down in week 10, I believe. Donald was still Aaron Donald, but the rest of the team around them is just poor. As you can kind of tell there by the overall ratings, 79 offense, 73 defense, 76 overall. That offense is carried by Cooper Kupp, and that defense is really carried by Aaron Donald, but that's just not enough when you compare to the rest of the teams around the NFL. So we'll just kind of quickly hop in here and do adjust lineups. Obviously, we've got Matt Stafford. He's older. He's aging. We'll probably look to move off of him this year. He's 35. Running backs, they're running Cam Akers and Sony Michel. We'll keep Cam Akers. Obviously, we've got Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson, Demarcus Robinson, Tutu Atwell, who we might try and look to move up, because he is a little bit younger. So we might run him in that slot, being 23, and let him kind of play our slot over Demarcus Robinson. Probably look to trade Robinson, honestly, at some point. We will be keeping Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald. I think they're Ram lifers in real life, and we're not going to change that, even though we could really turn over this rebuild in a hurry because of it. I just don't think that's right. We're going to leave Joseph Noteboom here at left tackle, start Avila here at guard, Brandon Allen, Shelton, Rob Havenstein. We may look to move Havenstein. He's 31, and he's expendable, honestly. We'll kind of look at his contract. Yeah, so there's a huge penalty to just release him or trade him, but I think we'll still try and move on from him. Higbee is obviously getting older too, at 30. We might, depending on his contract situation, we might keep him around for another year or two and then move on, but still a solid tight end. And then this is where you really see the 73 overall. You have a 76, 175, another 76, and a 74, and then everybody else is 60s except for Aaron Donald, who's 99 obviously, but he can only do so much when he compared. So this we'll be using, maybe get some younger guys up here starting right away based on age and depth chart, and then look to progress in rates, star, superstar, X Factor type things, and get them well on the draft. Those are fine. We will. Kupp's our slot, so that's fine. We probably will go into the actual depth chart here and switch Demarcus Robinson from third string slot to Tutu. That way, if the other two are already outside, then it'll just be Atwell. And the other one we need to look at is getting Puka Nacua up here on the team more. Another reason to trade off Demarcus Robinson is that we're going to get Nacua up here a little higher, being he is a rookie, and allowing him to start develop. They see, in real life, they seem to think he's going to be pretty good, and might just be their actual number 2 opposite of Cooper Kupp. I'm not sure how true that really is going to be, but we will kind of play it as he's young and we need to get him experience. We're just going to sim here and get up to the pre-cutting week. And the main reason I was wanting to go week by week was just for this wide receiver mentorship. And there's Puka Nacua, just like I was talking about, which does mean he'll have a breakout type scenario in week 1 of regular season. So we're going to get to cuts here, and we may just do some of our cuts early on by making trades here. We'll kind of look at go position by position here after we cut our long snapper. So at quarterback, we've got Stafford, Stetson Bennett, Brett Ripien, and Dresser Wynn. We're just going to move Dresser Wynn to the practice squad, keep the other 3 for right now. Running backs, obviously we're going to run with Akers. Sony will be his backup, Zach Evans 3rd string, Kyron Williams 4th. And then Ronnie's going to go to practice squad for right now. We don't have a fullback on the team. Receivers says we have 11 active, so a lot of these bottom guys are just going to get moved to practice squad if I can. Puka Nacua will keep up. Skoranek. Let's see, Robinson. We get $1 million just to cut Robinson, so we're just going to cut him outright. And that leaves Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson, Tyler Johnson, Tutu Atwell, and Skoranek. I might look to trade Skoranek after cuts, see where we're at. Tight ends, 22, 26, and 25. Honestly, even though their overalls are bad, we might just... actually, what we are going to do here... yeah, you seem to maybe have the best run blocking. We're going to move this rookie tight end. 60 run block, 63 impact, 60... Yeah, we're actually going to move him to fullback. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Tight end, player card, Davis Allen. We're going to make him our fullback starting now. And we'll go check his overall once we make the position switch. Looks like he's a 67, so I think he maybe went up 1 overall or 2 there, but that'll be good. Now we have somebody there, and that'll just allow us to work some more packages. Obviously here at left tackle, we've got Noteboom, who we're going to let play AJ Jackson and AJ Arcuri. We'll just move Arcuri to practice squad, keep the other 2. Obviously Avila's hidden dev, going to be our starting left guard. Brian Allen will be our starting center. 3 right guards. 23 higher overall. Yeah, we're going to cut this guy. And then a 22-year-old backing up Havenstein, who will probably be starting once we trade Havenstein. Left end, we'll keep them both for right now. Right end backing up Aaron Donald. We're just going to cut Laurel Murchison. 3-4, we got Bobby Brown out here, who's young. Jashawn Johnson's young, so we're actually going to cut Jonah Williams and then just let those 2 run it. Doesn't matter, they're both really bad anyways, so. Left outside linebackers, we've got Byron Young, Ochuan Mathis from Nebraska, and Daniel Hardy, and then we are going to move Van Valkenburg to the practice squad. Middle linebacker, we are 3-4, so it really only requires us to hold 4. And I think the 26-year-old is actually going to get moved on from and let the 2 23s, 24 and a 23 step up. Right outside linebacker, we've got Michael Hogt at 25, Nick Hampton at 23, and Kier Thomas at 25. We'll move him to practice squad. And then we've got 8 corners, so we're going to move him practice squad. Tyon Davis to practice squad. Let's see, 23, 23, 22, 25, 25, 28. We'll see. We might come back and drop one of them later. We've got 4 free safeties. Russ Yeast at 24. Jason Taylor at 23, 21. LeCount at 24 is just going to find his way off just because he's just simply too old for the rest of the team. Jordan Fuller, 25. 24, Quentin Lake. 23-year-old Quindell Johnson. one kicker and one punter, so we're just going to have to find a couple more guys. Ripien will find his way off the squad. I'd like to keep our 4 running backs. Actually, I think what we will do here is go make our trade. And just kind of move off some of this older talent. And see what we can maybe get back. We'll look at our pick situation. Obviously, it's not going to be great right now. Yeah, we're projected pick 6. Don't have our 7th. Let's see, Stafford. We'll let Van Jefferson work out here. Higbee can go. And then Havenstein. You can only trade 3 at a time. I just did base trade offers. They want to offer Justin Fields, which I'm not going to do because user-wise, he's good in the game. Mobile quarterbacks or dual threat quarterbacks just have a horrible time. A lot of these are looking pretty good. Kwity Paye is really nice. Devondre Campbell. He's 30 though, so it wouldn't really help. Paulson Adebo. Jordan Brooks would be really good for our middle linebacker core. James Daniels at 25. I think Kwity Paye at a 4th and a 7th, and we'll put him opposite of Donald. And we are actually going to try and talk them into a 3rd straight up in this 2024. And they accept. So we'll take that. So Kwity Paye in a 3rd to the Rams. That gets us another pick, obviously, in this upcoming draft. We moved off of 3 bigger contracts. Now, we did eat some penalties, obviously, for doing that. That will just kind of will only really affect us for this year, and then they'll kind of disappear after the year. So, not that big a deal. It'll affect us in free agency, but I don't know how much we're really going to be buying in free agency. So we're just going to let this go to next week. Obviously, we need a quarterback now. We currently just have Stetson Bennett. Set season goal. Hopefully 4 wins. I mean, even if we don't, that just means we basically get the number 1 pick almost guaranteed, which is huge for us. And would be good if there's a quarterback in this class. Oh, I did not want to open this. It's unfortunate. We'll do stifling defense. It all starts with defense, disrupting the pass. I'm just clicking through this, honestly, as fast as possible. What I meant to click on was to choose our draft class. Obviously, we're going to do auto-generated rookies. This year, everything's on base, just normal strength of draft class. We will look to maybe in a couple of years make them a little bit better, but for right now, just a base class is more than enough. We are going to do a 3-star quarterback as our national. And then I want to kind of go look through these areas and see who's maybe strong. So it looks like we could use a 1-star quarterback maybe here in the West. No. Great. Solid positions here. Not a lot of doubling up. Maybe look at... let's just do our West guy for right now. Actually, with the strength being quarterback, we'll just go to a 2-star quarterback here. And that'll be fine. Let's see. Quarterback higher. And then he needs to go to the West. Central, we really don't need defensive ends anymore. So I think we're going to switch this to a defensive tackle, probably. I think defensive tackle, since there's a couple guys there. We're just going to go ahead and fire all of these 3 1-stars, just to make it easier. Defensive tackle, Garrett Wells. And he will be our central. Northeast. Looking like maybe safeties is what we need to come target here in the Northeast. And then we will throw a receiver scout here on the Southeast. So there's our safety. And there's our receiver. Southeast receiver, Northeast safety. So we'll just double check those real quick. Safety, receiver, safety, defensive tackles, quarterbacks. Okay. So we'll let that roll. We'll check in week 3, obviously, and set our correct positional scouts for them. But that's just done. Weekly strategy, I think we'll probably throw Cam Akers in as our focus, one of our focus guys. Steve Avila can stay in. Nope, that's not what I wanted. So we're going to switch Byron Young here to Cam Akers. And then we'll go Puka Nacua actually here for make him 22. And we'll just let that roll for this year. So we will go week by week here up to week 3. So as we load into week 3, obviously the first mock draft comes out. We've got who's ready to re-sign this year. And then our regional scouting focus. We'll do scouting focus first. Maybe look at throwing some money to some guys. Just kind of evaluate the position. And then move from there. So quarterback obviously for our West scout. Defensive tackle here for our Central. We want to look at safeties in general here with our Northeast, and then Southeast is also going to be receivers, and that'll kind of give us an idea later on what some of these guys are. The quarterbacks will obviously be fully scouted by the end of week 11, by the fact that I have a 3-star and a 2-star on them. That moves those guys pretty fast. We will be bringing back Cam Akers, just make it a 7-year deal, maybe bump down the millions. Okay, and he said, yeah, that works. So he's re-signed. Jordan Fuller, 25-star dev at our safety. We'll bump his years up to 6. Bring him down just a couple million. Okay, he wants the salary back up, so we'll talk to him again later on and just bump that back up. Van Jefferson, 3 years, basically $4.62 million cap hit every year. Letting him go till he's 30. Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind that. He's still going to progress some, especially with star dev. Weatherspoon, I'm probably just going to let walk. Tyler Johnson's gone. Michael Holt. We'll look to bring him back Yeah, he's not that expensive. 2 million-ish cap hit for the next 5-6 years. That's not ridiculous. So we'll let that roll for right now. Copeland has absolutely no interest, so we're not going to worry about him. AJ Jackson, at least as a stopgap, we'll bring him back for 6 years. He said he's not ready to quite yet ready to stay, so we'll let him go. But Vincent Gray, 23, if he'll take a 7-year deal for $900K, he didn't want to accept right now, so we might talk to him later. Sony Michel will let walk, not paying a backup tight end or backup running back. Bryson Hopkins, he doesn't really want to resign. We'll bump up those two each just a couple million. Says he's not going to resign unless we align with his interests. Looks like our team picked up Matt Ryan. That's fine. We're not going to resign him. He's just going to be a stopgap anyways. And then Tremaine Ingram Jr. I think he's just at 25 and a 61. There's just not much point. And then Kwity Paye we will probably won't accept his option, but we will re-sign him coming next year. And we'll just hop into mock draft 1, see what it says about the team. We somehow beat the Niners 27-10. I'm guessing maybe Matt Ryan came back and played, and that's why. Let's see, we are the Rams. They currently have us going at number 11, taking Chip Freeman, who's a top 5. Looks pretty solid. So we'll see kind of how that progresses later on throughout the year. And I will be making... I think it's in here. I will be doing manual depth chart because I'm sure it's already moved some of our young guys back to the bottom. And I don't want that. I want those young guys being able to come in and play. Yeah, reorder depth chart to manual. And so then I will go make some changes real quick. And I'll see you guys back here in just a sec. So we just finished reordering our depth chart with week 3 here. We will jump to mid-season and just look at where the team's at. That's the next major thing for scouting. We will reoffer those couple guys, maybe not. But for sure catch up here at week 8. I think we've already made the trades we're going to for year 1, obviously with Havenstein. And Higbee, Stafford, them being gone, we'll leave them as it is and walk away. So that was just back to his original contract. That's all he asked for. So we're just gonna let him go or bring him back for that. Gave Jackson a couple more million. He said, yeah, that's fine. Gray, we'll give him $1 million and $100K. Says we're close. I don't know if it's worth throwing him on another offer or not. Hopkins, we'll offer, bump it up to. Starting to like the offer. He's gone. We might I think we're just going to bring back Witherspoon. We'll make him 2 years, let him stay till he's 30. We just kind of need that top end level. Anyways, and we'll let Johnson walk because we're going to draft receivers anyways. We need other young guys to be able to come up. We'll do our national focus here. We will just make sure that it stays at quarterback. Those other ones all stayed at theirs. And we will step out here. We'll look at our mock draft and see what it says now, see where it projects us. Obviously, we're 3-4. We're still in the running for the division. Um, Cardinals are bad. They're always bad in simulation. We'll see where it puts us. Man, that has us clear up at pick 20. Chip Friedman's still the one they want us to take. Obviously, he was a base top 5 projection. B, A, and C. He could be okay. He's a field general, 6'2", 230. Doesn't look great. I'm going to go with he's probably at best around 1 to 2 talent, but he's probably more realistically 2-3 talent. Damian Johnson looks like a beast. Cordova looks really good. Fender looks pretty good. He's probably going to be around 1. And then Bernard Middleton looks really, really good. Probably won't get those guys as they're quite high unless we start losing a lot. We'll just do auto upgrades probably. Cam Akers has 2, so he's clearly getting work from those mini games as well. And we will just let these auto upgrade. I think it said 30 players there. And we will go week by week here until week 11. And I'll see you guys back then here in a sec. So picking back up here in week 11, we somehow won both of our last 2 games. Not at all sure how, but that makes us 5-4 on the year. So we have our focus scouts. Cordova looks really good. He's up there. Yeah, like I said, Friedman's 2-3. Kind of figured that just based on looking at his projection. We will throw Fender there just to see. We might try and trade up a little bit and get him. Damian Johnson looks really solid. And then we'll just try and find another guy in here. Sheldon Bennett's got probably good release, but he's going to have poor deep route running. We're actually going to move me here on this other side of the screen, get us out of the way of the rankings. Too much shouldn't really pop up over here, but we might move us around just a little bit more if we find out that it does. And we'll look at this tight end. So that'll be our 3: Fender, Johnston, and Sullivan. That'll be our 3 that we look at this year. And so with that, we will be simming to the end of the year. And seeing how the team just ends up. So the team ends up 6-11 here, which is really good. As you can see, we were 5-4 at week 11, so we went 1-7 in our next 8 games. That's not right. Might have been should have been like 1-7. So we must not have had any more buys left. Yeah, I guess that would count week 11. So yeah, that's correct. And we actually tied with the Cardinals from the worst, and they were 2-8 at week 11. So, obviously pretty good for us. Will kind of give us a guess. Bears, so that'll be number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're anywhere from about pick 6 to pick 10 roughly, based on the Madden tiebreakers that they have for draft slot. We will upgrade just let our guys roll here. Looks like we're actually 5-10 up until, or 5-11, excuse me, and we beat the Niners last week of the regular season. So sucks we could have had a better record. Could have went 5-12, but we'll take 6-11. We'll sim up to the Super Bowl here. So picking back up here in Super Bowl week, we've got Cowboys versus the Ravens. We'll quickly go through the awards. We really shouldn't want anything other than maybe Aaron Donald winning DPOY. Burrow wins MVP. Coach of the Year went to Robert Saleh. We are NFC. Jalen Hurts wins Player of the Year. Aaron Donald wins DPOY. Good. Bryce Young and Jonathan Mingo finished 1-2 as Rookie of the Year. Jack Campbell wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. Hurts for MVP, or for Best Quarterback. Saquon takes Best Running Back. Ayuk takes Best Receiver. Cooper Kupp comes in third in that. Chris Lindstrom takes Best Offensive Lineman. Aaron Donald wins Best Defensive Lineman. Best Linebacker went to Rashawn Gary. And Best Defensive Back went to Jalen Johnson. We will go see if Kwity Paye happened to grace the list. He didn't. So that should be our last one. And so that's kind of wrapping up the early awards. So with that, we'll move into the off-season staff week. We are currently in the staff week here. We won't make any moves with our staff, obviously. We will do a quick season recap, just see what happened. Cowboys win 31-10. Dak Prescott is your Super Bowl MVP. Burrow wins MVP. The regular season, Robert Saleh with the Jets, Coach of the Year. Josh Jacobs, Player of the Year. Donald, Defensive Player of the Year, which we saw. Bryce Young wins Rookie of the Year, and Jack Campbell wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. So with that, we'll move into re-sign. Just do a quick overview at the re-sign, see if we want to do our 5th years. We're probably not going to. But we'll double check it real fast to make sure there's nobody that we missed during the year. Kwity Paye, we're not going to accept his option because we'll just want to negotiate straight up with him next year. Copeland doesn't want to come back. Gray doesn't want to come back. Hopkins, no. And no to Michelle and Ankrum. So, we will move on to free agency 1. Says we're going to sit at about $39 million. We might offer 1 or 2 people depending on interest. Something I won't do is I'm not going to offer anybody with red. Just like here, Mike Williams, while he's a good player, I'm not going to be offering him this year in free agency. But Christian Wilkins and all those guys in green, even down through yellows, I can offer on. Orange, I probably will stay away from orange. They are showing interest, obviously, but it's barely above the red. So we will keep it to green and yellows. And we're just going to sort by interest. Marcus Peters, absolutely not. Beckham, no. Higbee, we traded. Claypool, no. Now we can look at Devin White here. We have Ernest Jones, Jake Humble, DeAndre Square. We are in a 3-4. I will be offering Devin White. I just made it a 5-year deal. We are his top offer, so we will probably get him. Christian Wilkins is interesting. Get him on the other side of Donald. Now we do have Kwity Paye. Might move Christian Wilkins to our D tackle. I don't mind that. We'll throw him an offer, see what the market looks like on him. We are the number 1, so I'm actually gonna back that down just a little bit. We'll actually go 9-9. We're still number one with the 4-star, so we will let that go. I wish Gabe Davis was interested, or even Ridley. I would have definitely taken either one of them, especially at their ages. Corey Davis, he actually just stepped away from football in real life, so I'm not going to sign him. Robert Hunt's interesting for a right guard. I actually am going to offer Robert Hunt. We'll see what this offer looks like. And then we will adjust. We're just behind the Titans. I'll give him an extra year and bump these both to 4. And see what that looks like. Yeah, we jumped to number 1. So we will probably just leave that. Punter, we don't need anybody. Mecole Hardman is tempting. Let's just go look at the receivers. Claypool, Mecole Hardman, Sammy Watkins, Quez, Watkins. I think we will offer Mecole. Yeah, I think we're just going to offer Mecole as our one wide receiver. Attempt. We're actually going to make that 5. Need to pull it back just a little bit because of salary, but we are his number 1 offer. And that would basically take us out of money, so we're just going to eval and see what happens. Looks like everybody but Mecole Hardman signed. Oh no. Okay, so we only got Devin White and Robert Hunt. Christian Wilkins ended up going to the Bears, which sucks. It's definitely targeting him to be our defensive lineman, but we'll look at Poona Ford here. We still have Bobby Brown, who's 24. Yeah, I think Poona Ford, at least for a year, as a decent stopgap, is pretty good. Obviously, the come off the books next year, so that's okay. No even serviceable quarterbacks are interested. I mean, Mariota and Brissett, not worth it. Running backs, we just signed Akers. Wide receiver, we still got our offer out. Any of these guys young? Colby Parkinson, 25-72. Easily comes in as our best tight end. We will throw him an offer. Let's see, what is our left tackle? We've got Noteboom. Probably somebody we're going to look to definitely trade off of this year. Let's throw an offer at Isaiah Wynn. We're going to have to back this down quite a bit because we just don't have the money to offer him all that. Obviously, he's not a huge fan of the contract, but we got to do what we got to do. So we've got 3 and 4 stars on everybody. We'll just let it ride and see what happens. It looks like Isaiah Wynn and Parkinson didn't sign. We did get Poona Ford and Mecole. So we'll eval our last week here. Parkinson signed. Isaiah Wynn, we're still the only one out there on him. But we are out of evals for this week. So we'll scoot to next week. And after we go through and offer some free agents, we will come back and look at the mock draft, see where it has us picking at, and see what is available. Poona Ford is obviously still out here. Nobody's really that crazy that's still out here. Definitely some solid guys that, if they were interested, I would go after. But a lot of these middle to young guys aren't that interested. So we'll probably just walk away. We will look at the punters. Still have a 23-year-old, 68 overall. I think I will offer Braden Mann here. Bring his money way down. And just see if he signs. Accidentally backed out too far. We'll do our eval. Targeted. Neither one have signed yet. I believe we probably just got Braden Mann, and we did. We'll eval Isaiah Wynn again, and we got him as well. So, we'll move on to mock draft 4. We are the Rams. Obviously, we didn't have a great year. And we have pick number 8. Currently has us taking a wide receiver out of Oregon, Damian Johnston. Round 1 projection, AABA is his top 4 at 80%. Not very fast. Good, really good jumping, really good strength. A, catching traffic, A, catching. Looks like good run block, good awareness, good ball carrier vision, good spec catch, really good release. My guess would be he's probably going to have like 87, 88 speed, which isn't great, obviously. Especially when you're looking at like this dude up here at number 1 who's top 5 in their class. And he's got good speed at a 4.37. And a lot of the same stats as our guy. But if he's still there, we'll take him. Bernard Middleton could be in play as well. Some of these guys projected around us. Lance Van Buren, Don Haywood, no. Maybe Nazir Armstrong with A catching, potentially A to C man. Quarterback is definitely in play with Chris Cordova here. ABA. Great throw power, great strength, good speed, elite acceleration. I think Chris Cordova might be our first pick here for this rebuild. Looks really good. Currently number 2 on the big board, so mock draft has him a long ways down there. And I think that'll be it. We've made all of our free agency moves. We will move to the next week of free agency. And then, honestly, we'll just kind of skip right through that and go right to that following week of free agency recap, where we can submit our 3 guys that we want to look at for extra scouting, which Cordova will absolutely be one of those guys. Just to for sure lock him in and know. That way, if we need to move up in this draft, we can. Obviously, the Rams have been known to sell their picks before, so it's not that out of the ordinary for them. But we'll just see here in our free privacy workouts. Defenders for sure top 5. Freeman's not very good. He's 2 to 3. So we will throw Cordova on just to finish him off. They want us to take Damian Johnston, so we'll throw him to get him 100%. a zone. You are a primary zone receiver or cornerback, though. Pat Means looks really good. So he's going to be our third one there. Just to try and figure out some more about him for the draft. And see if maybe we can move up in that round 1-2 area. Late 1, early 2. And take him. So Fender's still projected to go 1-1. It still has us taking Johnston. And the quarterback's not coming off until 14th. Obviously, if you guys have ever played Madden before, you know Madden's mock drafts mean absolutely nothing. The teams go more by what the big board says than anything else, because they say they've been working on the logic, but it still really doesn't compute quite right for the computer, and they still end up taking guys that they necessarily don't need to be taking. But we will be moving on to the first year draft of this rebuild. And again, we need a lot. Obviously, quarterback is our most glaring need. We will pause it, view our draft board. Now, Bears have Justin Fields, so reasonably they shouldn't take any of these quarterbacks. They really should take Bernard Middleton, which is who I assume they will be taking. Damian Johnson is a top 5 talent in the class. So he's obviously more talented than the quarterback. But it's just kind of about how much do you need it. And then Pat Means, we know he now has A catching, C zone, B press, and B zone. So it's a pretty solid player. He's currently projected 32. We will kind of slow roll once we get after our pick here and see kind of what happens. Definitely looks like there's some solid ends and tackles here. Even a really good tight end here at number 49. So there's definitely a lot of people in play for our first couple picks. Now we've got Bears and Dolphins and Cardinals. None of these teams really should take quarterback. Bears do take Fender. Dolphins take the right end. Cardinals take Brandon Bryan. Now this is the one where I think we probably need to move up if we want to take the quarterback. Let's dive in here. We'll kind of look at his stuff. 4.64, so he's going to be pretty solid. He's not going to be ridiculous fast. Probably upper 80s. A throw under pressure. A deep accuracy. A short accuracy. A break sack. A awareness. B throw on the run. B play action. B medium accuracy. He's definitely pretty solid. And I'd really like to get that receiver too. Let's go talk to the Commanders. And see if maybe there's some way we can get them both. Maybe get the quarterback here and get the receiver there at number 8 with our pick. Obviously, Donald staying around, Cooper Kupp staying around, Akers we just re-signed. We just signed Devin White, Mecole Hardman, Robert Hunt, Kwity Paye, Isaiah Wynn. Currently have pick 8, and then obviously number 8 in the second round. I think I'm going to offer probably next year's first. We'll throw Bennett in there just see if they have any interest. Noteboom is for sure getting thrown in this deal. These guys are all good to stay. Byron Young's progressing pretty well. We'll throw Daniel Hardy in there just to look at it. And And I think that'll be it. Now we got to go talk to the Commanders. I think obviously we're going to have to offer more picks. But I just want to see what the baseline is. Probably offer one of my thirds this year since we have 2 of them. And a third next year. It's probably not going to be enough. Yeah, it's not quite enough. Let's go a third year second, so 2026 second, and see what they say. They do accept that. So we do now have the number 4 overall pick. So we will resume the draft, and we will now take that quarterback, and then just kind of let it slow play here, and hopefully get that quarterback or that receiver there at number 8. 92 throw power, 83 speed, 88 agility, 87 change of direction, 91 excel with hidden dev. I like that a lot. Obviously going to be the cornerstone of our franchise now. So we will let this kind of slow roll, let the Colts make their pick. They should go offensive line or skill position, maybe even a defensive player. Okay, they go right outside linebacker. Patriots might be in play for that quarterback, but I would assume they'll probably go defense or maybe even one of the receivers. And then Cardinals obviously being back up, they're probably taking offensive linemen since we haven't had any of them go off the board yet. And then it'll be our pick again at number 8. Yeah, there goes Bernard Middleton, who is the top player in the class. Big board wise, not necessarily mock draft wise or maybe even talent wise. But he was number 1 on the big board. We'll see what the Cardinals take here at 7. And then it'll be our pick, and hopefully we'll get that receiver. And they do take a left tackle. So we will be hopping in, taking that receiver, and then moving to the second round. 85 speed, 98 jumping, 91 excel. Decent change, pretty good change of direction with 87 and 84 agility. Obviously that speed is horrible, but he's also 6'4", 215. We'll take that. He's going to be our big guy. Obviously lined up opposite of Cooper Kupp. So we'll just let that ride. Texans at number 9 take Lucas Van Buren. And we will just sim to our next user pick. If that corner would still happen to be there, we'd take him here at number 8. But I'm assuming he's going to be off the board. But we'll take a look around and see what's available. Pat Means is here. He's currently the top player. What's his speed and stuff looking like? Good speed. He was the fastest one in the class. Great excel. A to B awareness, A catching, A stamina, B press. C man coverage and D play rec isn't great. B zone coverage is pretty solid. I think we are just going to take him and see what he looks like. Another hidden dev. 92 speed, 92 change of direction, 92 excel. So a really solid player there. And will probably be slotted in as our number 1. I think he was like 6'2". So a good outside corner. Maybe match him up in the slot with some of the taller receivers. But with that, we'll move on to our round 3 pick here. Obviously traded our other one to help us get up to that 4th overall pick. So we're just going to be kind of looking to see if we can find BPA, best player available, that also still fits. Tight end for sure in play. Actually, no, we will be taking this guy. A power move, A tackling. D finesse move is obviously not great. Elite strength is great. Elite acceleration. B to D block shed. A play rec. C awareness. His overall is going to take a little bit of a hit, but he will still be a really solid player as far as attributes go. 98 strength, 85 acceleration. That's really good out the gate, especially for a young guy with another hidden dev. So far we're 4 for 4 on hidden devs, which is nice. Obviously the first 2 are kind of give-me's, being the quarterback and the receiver, but to pick these next 2 guys and still make that work is pretty cool. So we're going to slide here into round 4 and see who's available. Nothing great here right at the top at least. A tackling right here, B block shed, A to C zone, B to D pursuit, run stopper. Looks like he could be a really solid 6'1", 247. Great speed. Not good for power moves, but again, he's kind of an outside run stopper. Might actually be moving him to middle linebacker. 84 speed, 85 excel, 78 strength. Just a solid guy. Probably going to guess he's like a 73, 74. Probably end up moving him to middle linebacker and maybe moving on from one of our guys there. Obviously, we just signed Devin White. Ernest Jones is still pretty young, but we'll just kind of let it see. He might just be a really great number 3 for us. Just looking at some of these top players here. Nobody's really standing out. A lot of these, when you get to this point and you're just taking shots in the dark, the tight end looks pretty solid. This cornerback looks pretty good. Obviously, his zone's not going to be great. He is a man-to-man profile corner, so A catching, B man, B press. Good speed, 4.45. A catching, D play rec, B to D awareness, B to D block shed. We'll take a flyer on him here in the 5th. Another hidden dev, 91 speed, 91 excel, 89 change of direction. 6'1", 195, 21 years old. We're just building up that young core really fast, which is good. Obviously, we're kind of traded away some of our higher end picks those next 2 years, so we really needed to hit on these guys in this first year, and I think so far we've done that for sure. This free safety, his ranges are kind of broad. B to D, B to D, A to C, B to D, but he might be in play. Let's actually go look, see if there's any tight ends that stand out. Peterson maybe be in play. And then we're actually going to swing up to running backs. Let's look at Juan Parrish here real fast. Not very fast, 4.72. He looks solid. I think for our last pick here, we'll just take the flyer on Peterson. Obviously, our tight end room is not very good anyways, so throwing a flyer out there on somebody doesn't really hurt. 84 speed, 87 excel. Good range of outcomes, A to C on run block power, A to C run block. So he can be pretty good at all of those abilities or skill levels. So we'll take that, and that is our final pick. We'll just do advance to end of draft here, and then kind of break down our draft and see who maybe we missed with some of those picks and what we hit on. So we'll hop here into the draft recap. Our quarterback ends up being a 77. Damian Johnson ends up being a 79. Pat Means was a 76. Dwayne Holloway was a 75. Fisher at 68. We will definitely move him inside. Michael Rivers, that cornerback we took late, was a 70. And then the tight end was a 65 here. We will jump to the whole class, just see what was there. Bernard Middleton was absolutely the best player in the class. That's why he was number 1 on the big board. Ends up being an 82 overall. Gabriel Green, a running back, was an 81. Christian Fender, that tight end that went, or wide receiver that went number 1, was an 80. We took the 4th best player in the class with our receiver. There was a center that was taken early in the second. That was 77. Our quarterback was the 6th best player in the class. So just a decent class, nothing crazy. Pat Means even makes it, I think, here in the top Let's see, we were 7, 8, 9, 10, so he's the 10th best player in the class. A really solid draft class for us, and we're going to slide in a couple other guys here around here, but a great class, great first-year draft. We made a little bit of splashes, obviously, in the offseason with Devin White and some of those guys. We will hop into the adjust roster real fast. Just move these guys around to their positions. Cordova, obviously going to be a starter. Cam Akers, we don't have anybody backing him up other than Zach Evans, Kyron Williams. We have our fullback in Donnie Rivers. Cooper Kupp, obviously, McCole Hardman, and then our new guy is going to slide right into that slot, which does mean Van Jefferson is potentially expendable this year. Skoranek is for sure expendable. He might even get cut. Parkinson's right there. Hunter Long, yes, we're going to keep. Our young guy's sliding right here in at the 3 hole. Might even move him up to number 2 just because he's a little bit younger. Alex Ward will be getting cut more than likely. Isaiah Wynn is our clear starter there. Avila's our starter at left guard. Allen our starter at center. Robert Hunt's our clear starter at right guard. And then Warren McClendon will just have to kind of hold it down at right tackle because we don't have anybody else. We might look at free agency, see if there's an older guy that we can maybe scoop up here to run the year. Kwity Paye will be our left end. Aaron Donald again going to lock down our right end. We do now, since we signed Poona Ford, we do have Dwayne Holloway as his backup. And I might end up switching that around on the depth chart and let Holloway start because he's younger. And we only run a 3-4, so only one's going to get in. Byron Young will hold down our left outside linebacker. Devin White and Ernest Jones will be our top 2 middle linebackers. We do have Hogt here. Actually, I think we're just going to end up starting Gabe Fisher here on the outside. 80 tackling, 83 hit power, 72 block shed is our best of any of these linebackers. 75 pursuit. Obviously, his finesse and power moves aren't great, so he's not going to get off the blocks very well. But I think still having him out there and getting his reps in will be the best for the team. We'll go look at our corners, safeties, kickers, punters, like that. Pat Means immediately steps in as our number 1 corner, which we figured. Kobe Durant hangs around as our number 2. Witherspoon is currently sitting in our 3. Robert Rochelle's 4. Michael Rivers, who we just drafted at 5, will end up being our slot and our number 3. And then we've got Travis Hodges Tomlinson, who will probably come up to our 4. And we'll let these older guys run our 4 or our 5 and 6 holes, and maybe even cut one of them. Obviously, out here at free safety, we've got Russ Yeast, Jason Taylor, and Rashad Torrance. And then strong safety, we've got Jordan Fuller. Kicker, we've got Tanner Brown. And then at punter, we're actually just going to go ahead and straight up release Ethan Evans here right away. Because there's no need to carry two kickers or 2 punters. Only one's ever going to play at any time. Accidentally clicked into Manage Team. We can actually do depth chart now, so I will hop in and make sure that all of our... I'll do an auto reorder first, make sure all of our young guys are in. Cordova's in, Akers, Davis Allen, Cooper Kupp, Johnston. We'll let those guys hold for right now. We will be switching Andrew Peterson and Hunter Long around. None of these can really change. They're all the only starters. Kwity Paye there, Donald there, Poona Ford. We will switch you for Dwayne Holloway. Byron Young is fine to run there. Devin White and Ernest Jones are good to run there. Gabe Fisher, that's who I'm looking for. You will be running our number 1 right outside linebacker. Michael Hope backing him up. Pat Means, number 1. Durant, number 2. Michael Rivers will be sliding up to the number 3. And Rochelle will get moved to number 6 or bench in favor of Hodges Tomlinson. Russ Yeast is fine there at our free safety for now, and Jordan Fuller will be our number 1 strong safety. Oh, we need to... That's my bad. I didn't need to back out yet. We will be going through undoing our specialists real fast and getting those all set up correctly, or at least how we want them to play for the year. I don't care about those. Third down running back, we're going to let Cam Akers, obviously. He'll be both running back slots. Slot receiver, we're going to go Cooper Kupp, then Damian Johnston. And then McCole will actually be third. Rush left end, Kwity Paye. Rush right end, I'm assuming Donald. Yeah, see, we're actually going to put Holloway at rush D tackle, and we're going to let Aaron Donald run our rush right end. Straight up. And let Byron Young just kind of sit there. Devin White will be our number 1 sub linebacker. Ernest Jones backing him up. And then number 3, we're actually going to use... Let's see here, 64, Fuller. We're actually going to just let him run there. And then here we are going to switch to Michael Rivers is who I want to be our number 1. And then Pat Means will be our number 2. And Hodges Tomlinson will be... Or Pat Means will be our 3. Trevius Hodges Tomlinson will be our 2. And Michael Rivers will be our number 1 slot. And don't worry about any of that other stuff. So, that's going to be our depth chart for the whole year. I'm going to go double check it. I'm pretty sure early on last year I made it so that it would do manual depth chart, but I'll go double check real fast just to make sure. And this is a new thing for Madden 24. If you haven't seen it, I suggest using it, especially in rebuilds like these. It is set to manual, as it can really help you with the progression of your players. With that, I will be advancing through the preseason. Actually, let's go look at free agents. We can't look at free agents yet, so let's just go to next week. We'll look at free agents real fast, see if maybe there's a right tackle or a free safety to pick up for this year. And then I'll probably see you guys in cut week with kind of an update on the team. Let's see, right tackle. Eric Boss, 21-year-old, 66. We're going to take that. Obviously, he's not much better than our guy there. He might not even be better. But at 21 years old, young guy, I'll take a shot and let him play. I think here we are just going to go with Ashton Davis. 27, we might resign him for a year or two, depending on if he wants to come back after this year. But 27, still 92 speed, so pretty fast. Would be able to track somebody down if needed. With that, we will hop back into our depth chart real fast to reorder those 2 guys. Let's see, right tackle, Andrew Williams, rookie. So he is 1 year under, 1 overall under Warren McClendon, but I do believe he's going to be younger, which we'll look at once we get back out of the screen, because you can't really look at it in the screen. And then free safety, we will be putting Ashton Davis in here, and then sliding him up to be our starting free safety. So, 2 pretty solid additions, obviously the one being a lot younger. But I like it. You know, it gives us a lot more to upgrade there with him still being young. And that means that his XP buckets are going to be a lot smaller. Yeah, 21 and a 66 versus 23 and a 67. I'll take the 21-year-old any day. And so we will, with that, I will see you guys here again in preseason, or in, preseason bye week for our cut week. Coming back to you guys here in the week of our last preseason game, because we have a wide receiver mentorship and a training camp standout. Just wanted to keep you guys up to date on what's happening. Obviously, I think we're 0-2 is what it said outside of it. Cooper Kupp is upset with our rookie receiver. This is kind of typical. Ask you what you want to work on. I just usually do catching traffic. Especially for receivers, and especially him. You know, he's 6'4". A lot of our balls, if we would be playing, would just be contested catches. So throwing up to him. So we definitely want that catching traffic. And then this one is for Kwity Paye. I want to boost his rush, his finesse and power moves. And so he now gets +3 power move and finesse move on top of what he had. So some good upgrades there. And with that, we'll just hop to our cut week here. See if we lost to the Browns and go 0-3. Hey, we actually beat the Browns 21-14. So we'll finish the preseason 1-2. As we look to cut 17 players, obviously Alex Ward's gone. Van Valkenburg is gone. Kiara Thomas is gone. DeAndre Square. Moving to practice squad. We have 11 receivers, so that guy's definitely gone. Second left tackle we'll leave alone. Let's go look at receivers. We'll go through quarterbacks. Just Cordova and Wynn. We'll let those 4 ride. We might come back and cut Austin or Ronnie Rivers, but we will be cutting Austin Trammell. Excuse me. Moving Xavier Smith to practice squad. Lance McCutcheon can go to practice squad. Puka Nacua is interesting. Skoranek will be getting cut for the extra mil. I think we might just look to make a trade here with Van Jefferson. AJ Arcuri is gone. Avila's staying. Brian Allen's staying. 3 you guys. 29 and 68. You're going to be cut. Looks like it still reordered our depth chart on me. So I'll be fixing that again. Ernest Brown and Kwity Paye. Just kind of have these 2 guys here. Poona Ford must have got hurt. So I do know that he'll be back. And so with that, I think I'm going to let Deshaun Johnson go. Keep our 2 left outside linebackers. Nick Hampton. Move you to practice squad. More than likely somebody will pick him up. So then at corners, Pat Means staying. Kobe Durant's going to stay. Weatherspoon, probably look to move him in a trade. Rivers, Rochelle, you're going to stay. So then these 3 guys, we'll just move them to our practice squad. Free safeties, we've got Ashton Davis, Russ Yeast. And I think we're actually going to cut Jason Taylor, even though Torrance is really slow. And with that, we will actually come in here and trade Van Jefferson and Weatherspoon. And just kind of see what we get for him. See if there's any offers. There is. DJ Wonnum, an old Preston Smith, Connor McGovern, Morgan Moses, Isaac Siamalu, or Traylon Burks. Man. That's by far and away the best trade. Huge value there with Traylon Burks. But I like our top 3 receivers right now. We don't really need him. None of these other trades are very good either. So I think we will kind of counter here with the Packers. They needed Preston Smith in there because of cap hit, but we'll work around that. And just look to get a pick from him. How about Devontae Wyatt? Still need to make up $900K. See, does that get them into the positive? It does. And then let's look for we'll ask for a second this year. That really shouldn't go through. Yeah, I didn't think it would. So we'll probably let's look for a third this year. And that goes through straight up. So moving 2 of our kind of older guys that aren't going to be part of the future for just kind of some cap filler, honestly, for them, and a 3rd round pick. So with that, we will jump into week 1 of the regular season. And we will do all this, set our depth chart real fast, and then just kind of sim and see what happens. Let's shoot for 4 wins again. Obviously, the team's not very good. A lot of young guys can lead to inexperience and bad play, but we'll let them play it out. So we'll just go for 4 wins. Auto-generated rookies again. Obviously, a pretty solid class last year. Filled a lot of holes. This year, maybe we'll look at some offensive linemen. It looks like this class is pretty strong with tackles up top. It looks like a strong quarterback class. Number 2 and number 3, it even comes up as a strength. So are receivers, but we don't really need a receiver right now. We don't need defensive tackles. So I think I will end up making this 3-star in offensive tackle scout. Man, it's a heavy quarterback year. Might make this a 1-star tight end scout and see if we can get Raphael Oglesby some touches or unlocked a little bit. We don't need defensive tackle here. We will make this guy. Actually, I just need to start making these because I'll forget. We'll just go ahead and fire everybody. Make it easier. Start with a clean slate. And then hire them as we need to. So a 3-star offensive tackle. He will be our national scout. West. We don't really need any of those, so we'll just do a 1-star tight end here. Tight end right there. And send him to the West. Central. Looks like 1 defensive end up there. I think we'll make our 2-star. Let's see, number 4, number 10. We're actually going to send our 2-star. Oh yeah, right here to the strength southeast. They're going to have right tackle strength, so we will definitely be sending our 2-star. Let's go getting a 2-star offensive tackle and send him there. So Connie Seo will be moving to southeast and looking at offensive tackles for us. And then the northeast, we'll do another tight end for the northeast and defensive ends for the central. Obviously, those guys are going to be just 1-stars, but a tight end to the northeast and defensive end to the central. So with that, we've kind of lined them up. We have our yellows there. Obviously, offensive linemen. We're not looking at interior offensive linemen here, so it doesn't matter. We want tackles. Here we want tight ends, not defensive ends. Defensive end, tight end, offensive tackle. So I do like that. We'll let those guys run for this year. We'll obviously come back in and talk to them at week 3 for our 4 regionals. Make sure they're scouting the positions that we want. Camp standout, this will be Kwity Paye. And if he gets 2+ tackles for loss or sacks, then he will go up in dev trait, which I believe he was star last year. I'm assuming he probably kept it. So he'd be looking to go to superstar. We'll do our rookie QB1 here because it probably gets him some XP. We just want to show flashes. Nothing crazy. Beat the Seahawks, get 2 passing touchdowns with him. Obviously won't be mattering to us. We'll just let the sim handle that. We'll hop in here to weekly strategy. I don't really care about this. I just want to make sure that our top 3 for right now, probably going to be 4 or 5 by the end of the year, but make sure that we have 3 guys in here that I want to scout. Johnston, our receivers, obviously. Cordova, our quarterback, yes, and Pat Means, our cornerback. You assume they do it right, but just always want to double check. We'll sim that and let those 3 stay there. Should have given them several extra boosts this year, which is going to be huge in their development. Obviously, they're all still pretty good and really young. Best guess is probably star on the quarterback, superstar on the receiver, probably star on the corner, and that defensive tackle as well. We will hop into adjust lineup real fast, just make sure that everything's kind of how I want it in a bigger setting. That one's not right. Williams is who I want there. You're fine, you're fine, you're fine. Cooper Kupp, yep. You there, yep. Davis Allen is our fullback. Ashton Davis looks right. Gabe Fisher starting. Ernest Jones, Devin White. Fuller Means. We do want Rivers in our 3. I'm not sure why this changed up some of this and didn't change some of the others. My guess would be we probably had an injury during the preseason. Actually, and I want Means to be our number 1 for sure. Kicker, punter here. This we do need to go in and change. And we need to change this one as well. That's fine, that's fine. And I'm fine with those 3 running that there. So we do need to go do a couple of our slot or specialists. If you haven't done it before, if they don't pop up on that adjust lineup screen, you have to actually go in through your depth chart and manually do it in here. So we will be moving these guys around just a little bit there. Sub linebacker, yeah, that's fine. Slot corner, we want Michael Rivers. And then Hodges Tomlinson. And then we'll let Pat Means be our third one. It doesn't really matter. So with that, we will look to jump to next week, see how that dev game for Kwity Paye goes. And just kind of see how the team starts progressing. We got a weekly award and we won 21-14. We'll see who got our weekly award. And it looks like Devin White, 11 tackles and an interception. Good game for him. Let's now see if Kwity Paye got a dev up. I'd love it if he did. I mean, it doesn't hurt him. We keeping him around anyways. We're definitely going to re-sign him here. It looks like he didn't get it done, which is unfortunate. So he'll stay at Star Dev. Do our QB1 check-in real fast. Obviously, it says didn't like his stat sheet, but we got a win. Get him an extra 1,000 XP. And we'll see who our injury is here. Nice. Our rookie receiver, Damian Johnston, breaks his hand. He is out for 3 weeks to start the year. That sucks. With that, we'll hop to week 3. Obviously, Mock Draft 1 comes out. Nothing really to take from it now. We got another weekly award as we smashed the Packers 35-14. And our rookie quarterback, that's beautiful. You love to see that. Second game in the league. Only 8 incompletions for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Great game for him in his second week. And tandem breakout offense generally means Cooper Kupp's probably going to be challenging Mecole Hardman. You want to try and get Mecole Hardman 150 yards in the sim. That boosts his XP. Cooper Kupp gets XP for inspiring him. And touchdown gets... And if Mecole Hardman scores touchdowns while also getting 150 yards, he gets some bonus XP. Regional scouting focus here. We want you to look at tight ends. Central, we want to look at did we want him to look at defensive ends? I feel like maybe we did. Tight end here again for our northeast, and then our southeast will be offensive tackle. So we will jump into players ready to negotiate. Big year, obviously. We have $129 million in cap. Obviously, Aaron Donald, definitely want to keep him around. Kwity Paye, Ernest Jones, Ashton Davis, Tutu Atwell, Bobby Brown, Poona Ford. So nothing insane. Obviously, once we get past Donald, we will negotiate with Aaron Donald. Right now, He doesn't really want to come back because we're not in the Super Bowl yet. We do have up on him because we have franchise QB in Chris Cordova. I will give him 3 years, and we'll bump up the money on each one. That should get him to come back. I'm starting to like the offer. So we'll probably end up getting him. Kwity Paye will definitely be re-signing. We shouldn't have to offer him much. Yeah, I would say he was close enough to re-signing anyways. Interest-wise, that I just bumped up the years to make sure he was locked down. Ernest Jones, I think he was red. Give him a couple more million. And move on with him. Ashton Davis on a 2-year deal for $3 million. I'll take that. Let him run the team for the next couple of years. Tutu, he's 24, 73. You know, Kupp will retire, so it'd be nice to have him holding off there. Obviously, he's going to be our 4th. Bobby Brown will bring back on a 7-year deal. Obviously, not going to be our starter with Hamilton, but he'll still be a really solid bench piece. Poona Ford, we're probably just going to let walk. Robert Rochelle will let walk. Andrew Williams, we definitely want to bring back. It says we're not a good scheme fit for him, so we'll just offer him a couple more money. 7 years, 21-year-old. They'll be putting him at 28 at the end of his contract. Hopefully we're not still in this rebuild at that point, but Brian Allen will let walk. Probably just try and sign somebody better. Ernest Brown will let walk. Hunter Long we're going to let walk. Jake Hummel can go. And that'll be it for us. Just come in here in a couple weeks and try and get Aaron Donald back. Will be our for sure biggest thing. We're 2-0. You know, a couple more wins, and that us changing from the underdog will probably help. Will change to maybe favorite or at least some contender, and that might make him want to sign for even less money than we were just offering him. So we will, with that, we'll take a break here. We'll jump clear to week 8. Will be the next time you guys see me, and we'll kind of get an update on the team then. Here we are in week 11, looking at selecting our 3 focus players for the year. I think we'll finish Sheldon Howard out. Might potentially look at a running back. Definitely going to scout Tyson Rose. and Dakota McIntosh. So those will be our three there. We are currently 6-3, tied with the Cardinals for first place. 49ers are one game behind us at 5-4, and Seahawks are 2 games back at 4-6. We need to try and get Aaron Donald back. And we do. So with that, we'll just sim to the off season, or sim to playoffs, and see what our team finishes up this year. So here at the playoffs, we make the wild card to take on the Niners. We both finished 11-6. Cardinals finished at 10-7, and Seahawks finished at 5-12, which they were whatever they were at week 11 to finish 5-12 means they had a pretty rough end of schedule. I think 4-6. So 1-6 to end the year. We will do our quick upgrade here for our players. Our quarterback has 4 upgrades across this year. He is an X factor, so super glad we traded up for him now. He looked really good in general, but the fact that he got X factor is huge. And we'll just upgrade his field general, make him the best overall he can be for right now. 92 throw power, 89 accuracy deep, 88 medium, 91 short. Solid speed there at 83 with 91 excel, 84 throw on the run, 83 under pressure. Just a really pretty well all around player. He has bazooka, homer, closer, and agile extender. We will look to switch some of those up a little bit. We'll do quick draw. And then we'll use the tight end one. And then also safety valve. So 3 pretty good abilities there for him. Our cornerback has 3 upgrades, which makes me almost think he has superstar. I do see an abilities up there, so he is actually superstar as well. We're gonna do 1 on zone here. Clearly it's his worst. He gets a +3 in it. Yeah, 57 zone, 92 speed, 80 man. So he's a great man coverage, but we've got to absolutely work on that zone. Abilities, he doesn't technically have any abilities unlocked yet, but he is superstar dev. Damian Johnston is our receiver that we drafted last year. He was guaranteed top 5. And we'll just upgrade him twice with playmaker. He's only got 85 speed, but again, he's 6'4". But he does have star dev. He must have been playing pretty well at least once during the year. I saw him have a chance for a breakout. He didn't get it, but it's nice to see that he is at least attempting it or coming close. Our other cornerback that we took this year is also superstar. We'll up his man because his man's his worst. Yeah, and I want recuperation on him. Dwayne Holloway, this is our D tackle. He is also superstarred. So that's what, 5 hidden devs, 1 star, 3 superstars, and 1 X Factor. That's a really good draft. You typically don't see that. This is Steve Avila, our young guard. He's only a star dev, but to have a star dev offensive lineman's pretty nice, especially at his age, which is 24, so pretty solid. He'll upgrade nicely. Cooper Kupp, Cam Akers, Kwity Paye, Devin White. Yeah, we're just going to auto upgrade the rest of these guys. And let them be on their own. So with that, we will probably this year we'll just sim it. If we get into it in a year or two, we'll probably play it. But I'm guessing we lost. We did 20-17. Today we'll take on the Bears, who are the 2 seed. Eagles get the Falcons. Outside on the other side, it's also 1, 2, 3, 4 on both sides. Bills, Titans, Chiefs, Browns. So with that, we'll just sim up to the Super Bowl. See who gets maybe some Pro Bowl honors. See if we get any Pro Bowl honors for our team. And it looks like Browns, Niners in the Super Bowl. We are NFC. Cooper Kupp was 3rd for Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year, Aaron Donald was 2nd. Our quarterback won Rookie of the Year, which is really nice. Our receiver was 7th. It doesn't look like any of our high dev trait defensive players got anything. Top 6 for our defensive tackle. Our quarterback was already top 8. Akers got hurt for a little while during the year, so he's not on there. Cooper Kupp finishes 2nd behind Ayukin. No linemen, which isn't surprising. Donald 2nd to Parsons. We don't really have any crazy linebackers. And none of our defensive backs really balled out, apparently. So with that, we will look at upgrade players. Looks like Cordova's gotten 2 more. My guess would be Pro Bowl selection, or Offensive Rookie of the Year. So we will continue to upgrade him. Throw a little bit in Scrambler here. Awareness, carrying, throw power out of a Scrambler is pretty nice. 93 throw power. Take that. Looks like Devin White got an upgrade. Our defensive tackle got another upgrade point. We'll just upgrade his run stopper. +3 to block shed. That's up to 74 now. And we'll just let these last 4 auto upgrade again. So all in all, a pretty solid year for the team. We will go to the next week, see who wins the Super Bowl. Looking at the season recap, the Browns win 23-20 on the back of Nick Chubb. Josh Allen wins your overall MVP. Sirianni of the Eagles was your Coach of the Year. Josh Allen wins Offensive Player of the Year. Von Miller wins Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Chris McCain for the Bills with Josh Allen. And then strong safety Brandon Quinn from the Giants wins Defensive Rookie of the Year. That we'll see who needs upgrades. It's all going to be practice squad guys. So I don't necessarily care. Give them their auto upgrades as well. We will shift to next week for re-signs. I don't think anybody outside of... We really need anybody. Yeah, everybody's normal. They're above age. They're above the age of 26, so they're not great anyways. So with that, we'll just move into free agency 1. So we're looking at available free agents. It looks like we have 88 million in cap. We do have Avila here, but Batonio on a 1-year deal, I would definitely take for that line. Son Reddick is interesting. It's interesting. We'll come back and think about it. Wyatt Teller's not interested. Tyron Smith is interested. D-Hop's interested. Teron Johnson, Stonehouse, Joe Mixon. Elijah Moore is interested. I think we will offer Tyron Smith. We do have Isaiah Wynn. Let's actually go look at our offensive line and our team in general so we can get a better idea of what we need to look at. So if we got Tyron, move him left tackle, Isaiah Wynn to right, move Batonio into center, ideally. Defensive wise, definitely another linebacker wouldn't hurt. Maybe even a corner. And maybe some safety help if there's anybody that's a high overall. So I think we will probably offer Reddick here as well. You know, he wants 3. I'll probably do 2. We're still absolutely number 1 for him. Tyron Smith we will try and sign as well. Obviously these are fairly big contracts, but Batonio and Smith are 1-year offers. Let's look at corners. I think Teron Johnson's the best one to go for. We'll give him a 3-year offer. We're actually going to go 3. Drop both of these monies down just a little bit. Save us a little bit of cap. That still gives us 4 stars. Let's see if there's any other linebackers that are out there that are worth it. Definitely not at right outside linebacker. Nobody really stands out there. Let's go look at safeties. Eddie Jackson, no. Terrell Edmonds is a great safety in Madden, but he's not interested, so he's off our board. Then we'll just kind of look here, see if anybody else is interested that we might want to try and bring in. Elijah Moore's interesting, but we've got Johnston, we've got McColl, and we've got Cup for right now. Joe Mixon is interesting. We do have Cam Akers. Let's go look at just running backs. Joe Mixon, Elijah Mitchell, Khalil Herbert, Jalen Warren, Rashad Penny, Edwards Hilaire. We'll go with Mitchell as our backup. Give him a 4-year deal. And that'll be everybody that we can offer at this time. So we'll do evals. Looks like we've gotten everybody but Batonio so far. It does look like we need to offer him up just a little bit more. Looks like we are now number 1. Actually 25, 79 overall. We will throw you a 6-year deal. Bump your money up just a little bit. Targeted. So we should get both of them, and that'll be our final 2 signings for this year. I out-offered the Jets by over $1 million on each side, and Bitonio still decides to go to the Jets. So that's unfortunate. Was really counting on him to shore up the center of that offensive line for us. So we might look at seeing if there's a center in the draft that we can slide in that's young. Akers, Elijah Mitchell, looks good there. Parkinson, Peterson, those 2 are fine. Teron Johnson steps in as our number 1, with Pat Means and Diamador Lenore as our 2. I'm going to fix that. He was literally a rookie. You can't take away superstar dev trait in a rookie year. That's just ridiculous. So he's superstarred. Michael Rivers. He somehow went from superstar to normal. Fixing that too. It's his rookie year with his base dev trait coming out of the class. How does he go from superstar to normal? That's just ridiculous. So we'll leave Means at 3. Rivers gets to bump to 4. Durant now becomes expendable, as well as several others on the team. So we might go look around here and see who's available for trade. Maybe pick up an offensive lineman that way. And kind of just see who's expendable. Looks like we don't have our first round pick this year, which we traded up for the superstar X Factor quarterback, so not that hurt about it. We'll throw Will McClendon in there. Throw him in there. And Kobe Durant can be our 3rd corner. Okay, nobody really wants to offer us much for that, which I do somewhat understand. I'm going to try and get this guy off the Giants. We need to clear up another $3.5 million of their cap for him. That leaves another 1.1 to be accounted for. So it's not that far off. We'll throw the second sixth out there. Another 6, and then our last year 6. So we do need to bump these up just a little bit. We'll look at a 5th round pick this year, see what they say. It definitely went up. So our next 3 5ths and some middling overalls for a new starting center with StarDev. I will take it. So now we don't necessarily have any holes to fill. Now it's just about kind of drafting best player available and best fit for the team. Probably a tight end is our biggest position of target, and maybe a better right outside linebacker. Obviously Fisher's pretty good and he's young, but we have 2 superstar corners and a star corner, and our safeties, they're not old. I think they're both 27, 28, but they're just not the best, and they only have normal dev, so we will look to be maybe upgrading there. So with that, I think we're going to call free agency over and head into the draft. Here we are in the workouts. We'll send our private workouts. Shouten Howard looks pretty solid, which is kind of what we thought. The center's round 1. We'll throw Pat Colbert just to see what he's like. Thomas Ford. Good speed. If he'd happen to fall, we might try him. And then we'll try and finish Dakota McIntosh here. And I think I'm actually going to pull Pat Colbert's because we don't necessarily have a chance at getting him. And I want to look at this free safety here. And just kind of get a little bit of information on him. We don't need to worry about mock drafts as we don't have a first round pick. We are getting offers for Elijah Mitchell. No, none of those are worth anything. So we will be just topping up to the draft. Start the NFL draft. And we will just sim to our pick, which is the 23rd pick in the 2nd round. And we'll see what's available. We don't need quarterback, running back, receiver. We will go look at tight ends. Nathan Clemmings is probably going to be a late flyer for us. Left guard up there looks pretty solid. His tackles were, none of them are very good. I'm going to take a flyer here on this D tackle. 98 speed, 98 strength, 65 speed, 85 excel, hidden dev. He looked fairly solid. So with that, we'll hop to our next pick. Which is round 3, pick 9. A zone coverage, B tackling, A to C pursuit here for a middle linebacker. Obviously not very tall at 5'11", but great speed. Take a flyer on him. He's hidden dev, 88 speed, 90 excel. So definitely a pretty solid pull there. Sim up to our next pick. Now we're in Dom Pearson. I think I looked at him just briefly there while we were scrolling down through this board. I think we're going to go ahead and take a flyer here. On a couple of these tight ends. .83 speed, 85 excel, hidden dev. We'll definitely take that. We'll probably take another one here at the end of this. In the next round if there's another one available. Just because our tight end room was pretty poor. So just trying to take flyers on some of these guys. I'm actually going to take a flyer on this safety. 87 speed, 90 excel. I didn't figure he'd be hidden dev, but some of his attributes or buckets there looked pretty good for his ratings. Hidden or normal dev there for that other tight end, but that's fine. That fills up our tight end room really well now. They're all three really young, all three two at least have decent devs, one normal dev, but we'll definitely take that. Look at this running back here. Decent speed, good hands. We'll take him as a backup. And a lot of this just allows us to maybe move on from players that are holding some cap against us. That will be our last pick in the draft, though. So with that, we'll jump to draft recap. D tackle was a 74, first middle linebacker was a 72, tight end 67, 66 free safety or strong safety, 65 overall tight end, and 65 overall running back. Obviously could have been a lot better, but compared to last year, we'll definitely take last year as our building block, and then just kind of improve on it this year. So not bad. It doesn't look like a super strong class anyways overall. So we'll definitely take it. We will do adjust lineup real fast, and we will do generate best lineup, and we'll let our guys go. Our guys sit here, and I don't mind that at all. Obviously, we drafted Womack here, who's hidden dev, which is solid. Our other defensive tackles got hidden dev, so now we're going to have two, at the very least, star defensive tackles. And so I like that. That's what we're going to run with this year. And I will see you guys in week one, or in cut week, excuse me. So we currently have 14 players to cut. We'll cut the long snapper, cut a bench corner, move him to practice squad, move you to practice squad. We'll cut him for $1 million in cap. Cutting Ronnie Rivers, cut Xavier Smith, cut Tamarcus Davis. Burton gets to stick around. Lance McCutcheon can move on. I think we're going to let Kyron Williams go. Save us a little bit of money anyways, and allows our rookie to be the fourth string. It appears that I can't even think. Colby Parkinson got hurt during preseason, but we will still be letting Nick Muse go to allow these three young guys to develop. AJ Jackson we're going to let walk. Elijah Wilkinson will probably just try and trade real fast. Luke Tanada is going to be released as well. D tackles are solid. Got 3 middle linebackers. And then, yeah, I think Tyon Davis will be our last one there. And then we will go move that left guard real fast. And go look at free agency to see if there's anybody out there that looks interesting. They want to give us Bozeman in a 7th. I don't really want Bozeman, but I would take a 4th this year. And they do that straight up, so it gets us another 4th round pick in this draft, and allows us to save a little bit on cap. Looks like Zeke, Kareem Hunt, Khalil Herbert, a lot of running backs. Chuck Clark, but Fuller's the same overall, lower age. LaVisca might not be a bad one to keep around as a... actually, we're going to do Wandale here. Just keep him around as our 4th string. Really solid overall there. You know, he's still 24 years old, so he's got a lot of room to develop. Sam Williams, 26 and a 75 overall. We'll give him a year. We'll let him back up Kwity Paye and Donald on the edges. More than happy to do that. That'll probably be our only 2 signings. We will probably need to cut another guy, I think, now. Yeah, we will. You guys are fine. You guys are both fine. As much as I don't want to let Ochoan Mathis walk, actually it'll be Kobe Turner. Same age as Sam Williams, but he gives us another $1 million back and 5 less overalls than Kobe or than Sam Williams. Makes it easy to cut him. So we will pick back up here. Probably flash in around mid-season, show you guys what the team's looking like, and then flash in again around the playoffs, and kind of see how we end up. We jump back in here at week 8, and as you can see, we are 6-0 currently. Players ready to negotiate. Wandale, who we obviously just signed in free agency. Bumped him. I wanted him for 7 years. Bumped his numbers up just a little bit. Bumped Sam Williams up. Isaiah Wynn. I'm going to keep offering him. Probably I'll offer him one more time. And then probably just let him walk. Kicker. Bring him back for 7 years. And he may or may not be permanent. You know, that we could get into the free agency after this year and find a better tackle than him. So, but for right now, we're gonna let him rock as our right tackle. Try and offer him once more here towards maybe the end of the year, and see if he wants to come back or not. It looks like our middle linebacker is Superstar that we took there in the 2nd round. This is our other rookie D tackle that we took. And he's probably only star, it looks like. But we'll take it. With that, I will see you guys at the end of the year. We ended up finishing 11-6, which was good enough for the 1 seed, which is insane. Normally you have to go like 13, 14, maybe even 15 or 16 wins. Obviously we were 6-0 at one point. We went 7-0, lost to the Saints, and then we were 8-1 at week 11, and I simmed out the rest of the way and finished 3-5. So that's not a great sign as we head into the playoffs to be on kind of maybe the downhill slide, but we will do some upgrades here for our players. Big upgrade there as we get +1 speed and +1 throw power for our quarterback. Michael Rivers, who is our superstar corner that we drafted one of our 2 superstar corners from last year. He's been getting some playing time because our injuries were tearing through us like crazy. At one point, Teron Johnson was hurt, Colby Parkinson was hurt, Damian Johnston, our top receiver, or our youngest receiver, was hurt. Several of our tight ends were hurt throughout the year. We lost a lineman there for a little bit. It was a bad year for injuries for our whole team. As you can see, several guys have several upgrades. Which is good to see. But we are just going to have to keep, hopefully, we're over most of the injuries, and we can work our way through the year, or this playoff run. So we will check in here, just look at our whole team as a lineup right now. Johnston is back. It looks like Wandale is now hurt. McCole, Hardman, McCole, Tutu, Cup, they're all healthy. O-line is now mostly healthy. I don't know why Isaiah Wynn isn't playing at right tackle like he should be. So we'll flip him over there real fast and fix that. And we've got Stroud being here as our number 1 tight end because Parkinson's still hurt. Peterson and Burton backing him up. Obviously all young guys, so I don't have an issue with them playing. Womack, we do know, is superstarred. So I'm actually going to move him up behind Devin White because I'd rather have him getting reps over Ernest Jones. Gabe Fisher over Byron Young. Hassan Reddick. Kwity Paye. Crowther. And Donald. Teron Johnson's back. Lenore's still healthy. Rivers is healthy. And Means is healthy. Davis is fine. And Fuller's fine. So we'll let the teams kind of run out the rest of the way like this. We'll jump to next week and see who our opponent is. And then we're probably going to hop in and do just watch play by moments. And see what the team does. We're just doing this because I know it'll ask me about it anyways, so we'll just do half pads for both these and sim it real fast and see how the team ends up, or Hopefully we don't have any injuries in training. But we'll jump into this game here against the Eagles and see how it goes. They obviously are slightly better overall. Looks like they have an X-Factor running back that they've taken at some point during this. We've got 3 X-Factors on our side. Donald is going to have a big game. And hopefully Cordova can get it to our playmakers in space there. And win the game. It looks like they drove right down and scored on us. We drove it right down on them and scored. They drove it right back down on us and scored. Looks like almost end of half. We score another touchdown. Now it's a very defensive game. We kicked a field goal at some point. They just scored another long touchdown. I think we just threw a pick. They kicked a field goal. We're putting a drive together. Helped out by a penalty there. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. And we get a rushing touchdown and tie the game. Can our defense hold them here? 3rd and 2. And they get a big pass. Kick a field goal with 1:11 left. Big play to Cooper Kupp. I'm guessing we didn't get a field goal up with 2 seconds left. Yep, we didn't. So we lose 27-24 to the Philadelphia Eagles. Same record as last year for us, 11-6, I believe. And fall short in the playoffs. So with that, we will sim to the Super Bowl. See if the Eagles make it. And they do. That is now 2 years in a row that we've lost to one of the Super Bowl participants. Lamar won MVP. John Harbaugh won Coach of the Year. Hassan Reddick won Defensive Player of the Year, so a good signing there by us. And that looks like it. So with that, we'll jump into the next off season. We'll see who won. Ravens win 29-28. No big awards for us, obviously. Jump in here to re-signs. Eight players ready to negotiate. We'll look them over real fast. Trevon Mullen, no. Zudu, no. Nope. We're going to let every one of those walk. And we're going to jump to free agency 1 and see who's out here. Hopefully another offensive lineman would be great. Maybe even a safety, or Chris Olave is out here. We will be going after Chris Olave. Not sure how Cooper Kupp at 33 years old wouldn't be a mentor to somebody. But okay. We currently have the number 1 offer on him. Let's see, is there any offensive linemen? Bulls for a year. Much rather have gotten Braxton Jones, but he's not interested. Nothing that really upgrades us. I mean, win's going to be like an 80 anyways, so. Cade Otton is interesting. We'll let Parkinson go. Yeah. I don't mind a Cade Otton. Drop his stuff down just a little bit. If he comes, if he signs, he signs. If he doesn't, it's okay. Any big names on the defensive end or defensive side? Not really. We don't need a middle linebacker. Don't really need you guys. Martin Emerson's interesting, but he's not interested. No free safeties really, because I think Ashton Davis did drop actually to a 73. So just in case we don't get anybody in the draft, we will try and pick up Julian Blackmon. Not interested in any of those guys. We have our own kicker and punter already. Not interested in any of that. Definitely want Olave. And that's really it. So what we're actually going to do is we're going to upgrade up Olave even more. We're going to give him like 8.5 and 7.5. And I want him for 6 years. And he should hopefully just sign right away. We don't need Algier because we signed Elijah Miller. Wow. Last year, so we'll just see what happens. We definitely way out offered the Chargers, and Olave goes to the Chargers. We got Blackmon and Otton. Man, that's frustrating. We'll offer some of these younger guys just to fill out the team a little more. And we'll throw our last one here, Dobbs. And just let it go. I got Blackmon, Dobbs, Otton, and Meekins, so that's fine. Would have really liked Olave. But oh, we lost Tyron Smith and Aaron Donald this year. That leaves a huge hole on our team. We do need to look at an offensive lineman now. Crowther was Superstar Dev. He just randomly lost it as well. Womack lost his as well, so we'll be fixing that. I wonder if it's something with the cap. If for those that don't know, Madden has ability caps, meaning only so many players can have a certain level of abilities. Once you hit those caps, say 50 X Factors in the league, it then just starts randomly taking them off and pulling them back down. We did fix those. Reddick goes to Superstar, I believe. Yeah, he does go up. So we will go over and fix those caps, see if that maybe is the reason why. For those that don't know, league settings. Yeah, and then here's your dev trait stuff. We just raised those caps both a little bit to allow for people to actually progress. Let's look at free agents, see if there's an offensive lineman still there that's worth offering. Garrett Bowles is a 1-year stopgap, is fine. We got Garrett Bowles there during the sim. So we'll take that. And I think that's going to be it until draft and off-season workouts. So I will see you guys back at the draft. So we're picking back up here in the NFL draft. We are round 1, pick 28. Obviously, we had one of the best records in the NFL at 11-6, putting us here towards the back end of the first round. It looks like we do have a pretty good strong safety here. Jamie Ware, who I threw one of our dev or contact or our private workouts on. That's the word I'm looking for. He's pretty solid. But I think here best talent available is this strong safety. So we'll just go ahead and take him. 90 speed, 91 excel. A awareness, B man, B catching, B finesse, B hit power, C play rec, C block shedding, C zone coverage. A lot of C's and B's, but the hidden dev might move him to free safety. We'll just kind of look at what happens. I think we will try and trade up here somewhere in the second. And I want to take that running back. Actually, pick 38 probably will be good enough if we can get it. That's declined. I'll throw him a 6th, 7th, and our 6th and 7th in 2028. They decline. Let's see what else we can offer. How about Puka Nacua? Really didn't still move the needle very much for him. How about defensive tackle Bobby Brown? Really? We'll see what we can get. Maybe we can get a high draft pick. Nobody wants to give us a high pick. Broncos are pretty interested, so we will just kind of finish off a couple years down the road. Throwing with these few picks from a few years away. I'll do a 2027 fourth. That looks like it's about to go through. Probably a fifth, or we'll try a seventh this year. Because theoretically, leaving this year. That's a weird thing to say. My guess is they're already past the 35th pick. Yeah, they are. We need to pause. So he's still there. Try and trade with like the Texans maybe. For their second, fourth this year, and a fourth in 2028. Zach Evans. Let's just see where that puts us. Not bad. We'll throw in Tutu Atwell. See what the price looks like for Puka Nacua. Still orange. I don't mind that. And then what about Oshwan? You want Oshwan Mathis? Still yellow. And we'll throw in next year's fourth. So Oshwan didn't really move the needle much for him. How about both of our fourths this year? It's close. If you also give us your third this year, we do our third and this fourth. How about next year's third? Next year's fourth for whoever this random team is. That's fine. So, take our seconds and thirds, or our thirds and fourths this year, move them for a second round pick this year. And we are going to go take that running back. Oops, not fullback. Obviously a little above his talent, or his rating, since he was supposed to be second and third, but he's a round one talent, we know for sure. So it's going to put him 73, 74 overall. 92 speed, 89 excel. It's more than solid. He obviously doesn't need to be anything special. We've already got Cam Akers, Elijah Mitchell. So he's just going to be a solid depth piece, kind of reset our our young core there for running backs. And then we're going to see if there's anything up here that we think looks pretty solid. Try him. He looks pretty fast. 93 speed and 98 excel. So not a bad guy. Let's see what he is after the draft. And then we have one final pick here in round 7. Which we'll probably just take on a quarterback here. This guy looks pretty solid. 88 throw power, 70 speed, 81 excel. A short accuracy, ADC medium and deep, deep play action. So he's always going to be our backup. We don't really need him, but might as well do something with our pick. So do a draft recap. Obviously teams are offering for Romeo Doubs. Showing some interest in him. Strong safety is a 74. Running back's a 74. That receiver we took in round 6 was a 70. Quarterback obviously wasn't very good, but we knew that. We just were using a pick to make a pick. Best player was Alex Hayden. Yeah, he looked pretty solid. 80 overall. 78 corners, 77 receivers. Another 77 corner. Really solid receiving class. A lot of 76, 77s. There was a free safety that was a 75. Another strong safety that was a 74. And then our guy was a 74. So tied for second best safety in the class. I will definitely take that. And we're going to probably... We're actually going to go through here and move him to free safety. And let him run free safety. Probably look to trade off of Ashton Davis as he is getting older. And we just don't need to take his cap hit anymore. So we will hop here in the trade center real fast. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. We do have Julian Blackman as well. Ashton Davis is definitely gone. Fuller is probably getting close. Russ Yeast is definitely close. Pierce Cooper Cup finally dropped out of X Factor status and went down to Superstar. McCole Hardman, Damian Johnson are both star. Romeo Doubs, Wan'Dale Robinson, Tutu Atwell, Juan Meekins, Darrell Rivers. Just a lot of solid guys here. Might start moving some of them because we're just going to end up having to cut them anyways. Because they can't all make the team. We will actually throw in some of our receivers on this. Tutu Atwell will be put in this trade offer. See what we can see. Terrence Staley's not bad. That's who we're actually going to go get. Another young corner. Something we can use. Obviously going to be our 5th string, but just adds some really nice depth. He's young, and he'll allow us to move off of another older contract. And we'll just see what Hodges Tomlinson brings here. Lucas Van Ness. We need to look at our left outside linebackers, but that looks like a really solid trade. We do have Hassan Reddick, but we'll move him to right, and then he'll be extremely good over there. I do think we're kind of fleecing them there to actually get a pick as well. So we'll just do Van Ness for Hodges Tomlinson straight up. And then we'll go in and adjust roster. And move Van Ness over to right outside linebacker. And so just like that, we have a nice solid linebacker core now. That should help our team pretty well. So we'll go here, and I will pick back up with you guys after probably in the mid-season. I think is where we'll come back. I'll do cut week here in a minute, and then pick back up with the mid-season mark, see where we're at, and hopefully look to make our playoff push here. Probably have 1 year left, whether we win the Super Bowl or not. As we pick back up here at mid-season, we are 5-1. I did all the re-signs already that I'm going to do for the year. Just a lot of our solid guys. Reddick, Lucas Van Ness, some of those core pieces of our team that we've been wanting to keep around. I don't know why I went into this. So I re-signed all of them. Oops. To just keep that core together. I did see that this is the year for our 5th-year options on our quarterback and receiver, which would mean that we are in year 4 currently. So if we don't win a Super Bowl this year, next year will be the last year no matter what. We're going to put a 5-year max on these because sometimes Madden just doesn't want you to win. And I'm going to try not to change the playbooks. A lot of times if you change the playbooks around, you can pretty easily win Super Bowls. But that's not what I want to do. Those 3 guys that we clicked there will be our 3 for the workouts, and then we will sim to the end of the year. Cowboys are 9-0. We're 8-1. That's a pretty big game. Hopefully, we still make the playoffs. This is exactly what I mean. We're in the wild card as a 13-4 team because the Cowboys went 15-2 to get the 1 seed, and the Panthers went 14-3. So last year we were the number 1 seed overall at 11-6, and this year we're third. We are the 3 seed at 13-4. So, like I said, I think last year was just a down year. Everybody was a little more even, but hopefully we can win a few games this year. Just click through our quarterback here. Surprised he got 4 dev traits. I think it's mostly because he's such a low overall that it doesn't take him much XP to get upgrades. And we do also have XP boosts from our coaches. I think we get an extra 15% in training, so that allows our guys to get better quite a bit faster. We have XP boosts also for, I think, receivers now. So that's why this younger guy is also getting so many upgrades, even though he's only normal dev. Damian Johnson picks up 2, which has been a little bit since we've really even upgraded him, which it appears he's out for 3 weeks with a quad tear. It's not great, being he's probably our second best overall receiver now. I'm not sure what Mecole Hardman's up to overall wise. And Cooper Kupp is obviously on his way down just because of his age. So it is nice to have some of these younger receivers finally starting to progress a little more. As we continue to work on Demetrius Crowther here, he's actually playing our normal right end. We just subbed him in at right end because he was the same overall as our starting right end, and our starting right end was normal because of Aaron Donald's retirement. And so with that defensive tackle being superstar, we just led him over and are letting him take those first team right end reps, and getting him experience on the field. This is our free safety that we took this year. I'm gonna guess he's probably star, and he's still hidden. Would be my guess. Yeah, he still is. He's got 13 plays left, so we'll for sure see him at the end of this. Akers, basically just our normal team right there from the rest on. So we'll just let the computer auto sim those. We will just let that simulate. We'll watch this. Still have Justin Jefferson, Danielle Hunter, and it looks like they drafted a superstar running back at some point in Rashard McRae. I know I hopped in to look at some box scores for games earlier, and we got a little torn up by running backs. So hopefully our defense can kind of lock it up here in the playoffs. And shut them down and let us get a win, and get our first playoff win while I'm being the controller of the team. Not looking great right now, as our offense is yet to move the ball. We do finally get a field goal just before half. We get ball coming out of half, march it right down the field and score a touchdown to tie up the game. Big stop there from our defense, keep the momentum on our side. Looks like some big plays, just running the ball and kick a field goal, 13-10. Minnesota's starting to drive now. Two consecutive losses and an incomplete pass. Going to force them to kick it back up, kick a field goal. And we're back tied at 13. 6 minutes left to go. It looks like our offense is not doing anything. A run on 3rd and 14. It's not exactly what I would have called. Punting it back to them. They're driving it down. We stop them, force a punt. Got 2 minutes left. I'd say we're probably in field goal range now. Now it's just about wasting time. They're using timeouts. We're getting a little closer to the goal line. 57 seconds and 3 timeouts, and we couldn't figure out how to get a field goal up. That's something that Madden has got to change. is that the AIs just never call a timeout when they should. We're going to jump in here on 3rd and 11, see if we can help the team get a first down. We're able to scramble. Our quarterback gets touched and fumbles immediately, and Minnesota kicks it right to Minnesota. Yeah, and we lose all because the computer refuses to kick a field goal and with a minute left and timeouts, and then I fumble as soon as I get touched with the quarterback. With that, we will move to the final off-season. We pick back up here in free agency 1. Looks like Ronnie Stanley is available. Looks like I let Garrett Bowles walk. So we're definitely going to try and pick up Stanley. I mean, we're going to make that an offer he borderline couldn't ever refuse and go anywhere else. Tired of them picking to go somewhere else. Derrick Henry's still X-factored at 33 years old, but he's down to an 80. I don't know that we really need anything crazy. Cam Akers, Elijah Mitchell, Jamie Ware. We don't need a running back. Fullback. 23, 75. And Davis Allen's 26 and an 80 or a 72. So we will pick up that fullback. Receivers, Cooper Kupp's almost down to Hardman and Johnston's level now with his age. Nobody super great here. Tight ends were young. We're still pretty solid there. Obviously, Ronnie Stanley. Wish Broderick Jones was at all interested. I would offer him. We should still have Steve Avila, which we do. John Michael Schmitz. Still got Robert Hunt. In right tackle, we should still have Isaiah Wynn. I wish Ramczyk was a little more interested. I definitely would have offered him. Left end here, we've got Kwity Paye. We'll let him rock there. We're solid at defensive tackle. Right end, we've got our other defensive tackle playing it. Left outside linebacker, we've got Reddick. We need a backup that's a little better. Tuli Tuipulotu. He'll be a serviceable backup for us. Give him a 7-year contract. Middle linebacker, we're good. We've got 3 solid guys there. Right outside linebacker, we obviously just got Van Ness. Cornerbacks, we've got really good corners. We've got 2 solid free safeties. And our strong safety still being ran by Jordan Fuller. We will actually sign Pickup Battle here as a good backup for us. And we don't need a kicker, and I don't think we need a punter. No, we've got Braden Mann. We will actually offer Stonehouse just because he's a lot better overall. He's obviously here every year. Let's look at... We'll click on this just to look at... Oh, never mind. We've already used our 5. So we'll see how many we get. Probably offer, or at least look at Elliott there on the depth chart. We either signed everybody or didn't sign them all. So we did get them all, thankfully. Now let's go look at kickers. I just want to see what Tanner Brown's up to. 27 years old, 73 overall. We can find somebody better. Cade York's got the biggest leg. Pretty solid in accuracy. I think we'll go Chad Ryland. Same age. 4 overalls better. Big leg. We'll just eval on him. And that'll be our last signing. We're not going to get too crazy. We will go in and cut our kicker and punter here. Being Braden Mann. It's fine. We're going to incur a small penalty for that. And we'll incur a penalty. Incur a penalty here on Tanner. But we'll take that. Obviously, we just signed a lot better guy. Obviously, it'll lose us a couple $1 million in cap space, but we're okay. Our quarterback is now our highest overall there, at a 93. So hopefully he can. Hopefully we can get over the hump this year. I will pick back up with you guys here during the draft. So as we load into the draft here, like I said, this is going to be our final year. We do have pick 23. So let's go see who's available. Looks like some solid 1 to 2 talents here. At least at strong safety. I think we're going to target DeMarcus McKay with one of our late picks. Is there any good tight ends? 2, 3. This guy looks insanely good. There was a corner that I thought might still be here at this time. Yeah, French. Between him and Chuck Beckham, they both look really good. Finch is super fast. Chuck Beckham's pretty solid, but I'm going to go with French. Hidden Dev, 95 speed. Obviously, we have a pretty good corner rotation, but to adding another one is never going to hurt. We'll go to our pick here in the second round. And go look at safeties. They just were in a very good free safety or strong safety class. A really solid free safety class. Might have been top heavy. Chuck Beckham is gone, which is unfortunate. I definitely would have thrown a flyer at him here. I'll go look at tight ends. think we're going to take a shot here on one of these two guys. Try Glenn Massey, hidden dev, 86 speed, 6'6", so just another solid guy there. Go to our round 3 pick. It looks like Mark McKay is kind of jumped on our board here in the top 50, so I will take him. Really good speed, 91 speed, 91 excel. Again, just more depth, and then I think with that we're actually just going to sim out and let computer take the rest of our picks. Our team's pretty well set at this point, and this will be our last year, so it's just going to be about letting our guys that have developed through the course of this draft, or through the course of the drafts and free agency, finally come together as a team, and hopefully we can get a Super Bowl this year. We're at this point we're a perennial playoff team, but let's hope that we can put it all together now for a final Super Bowl run. We'll do a quick draft recap just to look at our guys. That corner I thought was going to be good. He was 79 overall, 73 for the tight end, 71 for the running back, and then the quarterback or the computer took some random guys down here at the bottom. My would guess that corner is probably one of the top guys. Yeah, so there was a better corner that went number 2, and a really good running back that went top 5 as well. But then we picked the third best corner in the class, and Chuck Beckham ended up being 4th. So it was kind of easy to tell those guys were definitely some of the creams of the crop. Obviously, this guy would have been the number 1 pick for us, but he went off the board at number 2. So we took the best player available that was there when we could, and I'm not mad about it at all. Same amount of man coverage as the number 1 guy, a little bit less on zone, better press, same pursuit, just a really solid all-around corner. Way better stamina than that top corner. A little bit lower toughness and injury, physical grade, but more than a really, really solid player. So we'll definitely take that. May even look to move him to one of the safety positions. I didn't look at his height there, but we'll assess that here in a second when we jump to the adjust lineup here in a minute. And so this is going to be basically kind of our final look for the final year of the team. Ronnie Stanley at our left tackle, Steve Avila, Schmitz, Hunt, and Isaiah Wynn being our offensive line, Cade Otton, Parkinson, and Stroud as our tight ends. Damian Johnson, who we took in year 1, star dev up to an 84 right now. That fullback we signed in free agency is 75. Cordova's up to a 93. Akers is an 84. Mitchell's a 78. These are our 2 running backs we've taken the last 2 years. Solid players. Cooper Kupp down to star in an 85, and McCole Hardman in an 83. Looking at our corners here, Patrick Means is superstar. Teron Johnson's still normal. Lenore went to superstar after last year. French is a hidden dev corner, which I think we're actually gonna move Teron Johnson down the depth chart. He's older. It doesn't really matter. We're gonna leave French at our 3, let Lenore run the 2, and Rivers, who's just been a great superstar corner, at our 4 or 5, is just gonna continue to hold down that spot. Crowther, we're going to move to right end and let him play there full time. I think it was just the best fit for the team. Obviously, kind of an Aaron Donald thing. Aaron Donald was their D tackle for a lot of years in their schemes. And then there at the end, they're like, hey, why don't we just actually put him outside where he'll destroy everybody? So that's what we're going to do as well. We'll move Bozeman. We'll leave Bozeman alone. He's hidden dev, obviously. One of the late picks by the computer. But we're fine with just letting him stay. We've got Blackman and Wilcox are both star devs. Jordan Fuller still normal. Jordan Battle, his backup, is still normal. Reddick went to Superstar X Factor. Devin White dropped from Superstar to Star. Our middle linebacker retained his Superstar. Van Ness went to Star, or was it Star? Stonehouse is still our punter. Ryland's our kicker. Lenore's holding down our slot corner, but we're actually going to put French there. Reddick's our pass rusher there. Holloway, Quiddy Pay, Devin White, Womack, Jones, Akers, and then we'll let Hardman run the slot. That's fine. That'll be our team. Aside from a cut week here going into the year, that will be our team for the remainder of the year. So I will see you guys at the playoffs. No reason to really stop at mid-season. We're not going to do any of the scouting or re-signing because we're just going to let this team walk off into the abyss no matter what happens. So we will see you guys in the playoffs again. We jump in here at the playoff week. Cooper Kupp is going for retirement after the year. So we want to do one last hurrah for him. Our team ends up 9-8. By far our best overall team that we've put together. The whole rebuild and the worst record-wise that we've done, which is a little unfortunate, but we will kind of do some upgrades here and then see what the team looks like and then hop into our game against Carolina and see if we can come out on top this year. French, here's our corner. He should be unhidden from his dev trait, so I'm going to guess he's probably only star, which is unfortunate. When you're the third best player in the class to only get a star dev, yeah, he is. That's a little unfortunate. We do have Glenn Massey here, our tight end. That we took this last year. He was also hidden. My guess would be he's also star. Oh, he's still hidden. Means he didn't get much playing time this year, which is unfortunate. And then we'll just let the computer do the rest. Looks like our middle linebacker unlocked a new ability slot. Tip drill. Go for strip specialist. And reach elite. Allow him to get to the allow him to kind of reach around blocks to make tackles. I'm going to do some staff upgrades here real fast, and then I will catch up to you guys as we're getting ready for the game. So as we load in here against the Panthers, they picked up Derrick Henry. Ike Makwanu is still superstar, and apparently they have a superstar fullback compared to us with Chris Cordova, who's X-Factored, Reddick's X-Factored, and Ronnie Stanley is our highest overall superstar. We will just kind of let it sim again and see if we can maybe come out on top this year. I'll sim through the first quarter here. It looks like we're down 7-0 early. down 13-0, 13-7, down 20-7, down 20-14 at halftime. We'll let it sim the third quarter. Down 26-14. That's probably going to put the game away, and we're going to lose in our final year here, 33-28 to the Carolina Panthers. Bryce Young had 91% completion rate. Not going to win many games if the quarterback has a 90% completion rate. So that will be how this rebuild ends. It's unfortunate. Went to the playoffs 4 out of the 5 years. Only year we didn't really go was that first year when we kind of sold, got rid of all the older guys outside of Kupp and Aaron Donald. Made splashes in free agency to improve our team, and they just could never get over the hump of the first round. Perennially lost in the first round every year. So that will be the end of this rebuild. I will hopefully get a new one started here in the next couple days and get a new one up for you guys. Thanks. Bye.